Right, here's just a short one. I saw one a while ago on YouTube about someone who's got one of these Clark multi-lathes, yeah, and they reckon that it's the right crock, not worth the money. Well, this one of mine, I've had it about 12 years now, and I use it to cut, well, I use it to make custom parts, yeah, for you, mainly for motorcycles, and I do some other bits and pieces on it as well. And I use it to cut everything from plastic to cobalt chrome. Some of you possibly seen some of the videos that are on there. So I thought, it's not the best in the world. It would be nice if I could afford a Colchester student or something equally as nice. Yeah, if I had that amount of money, it would be nice as well. But I haven't. So you've got to make do with what you can afford. It's not the best in the world, but I'm quite sure it's not the worst. I suppose for the Americans, a few guys, possibly a Harbour Freight, I think they call them Grizzlies, similar sort of thing, with a lathe and a drill head on it that they call a mill drill head. Yes, it will do both. Yeah, but you've got to take it with a pinch of salt and bear in mind its limitations. If you understand the limitations of the machine, it's fine and dandy. Okay, a few specs. Okay, now I'm reading I'm reading it off that sheet over there. The lathe itself is 430mm, that's 16.9 inches between centres. It's got a 305mm, that's a 12-inch swing over the bed. Spindle bore 26mm, which is just over an inch on a number 4 Morse taper. What else? 6 speeds, 170 to 1630 RPM. It will cut metric and imperial threads, both of which I do on a regular basis. Tailstock is an M3 Morse taper. It has a forward and reverse. It has a power feed, and it has a 3/4 horsepower motor, single phase. What it doesn't have, of course, you don't have the nice big apron with the half nut, but you do have you got a two-speed power feed, if you like, and that's the clutch for it. It's a simple dog clutch, nothing exciting. The usual electrical with a no volt cutout, forward reverse. Worst thing about this, let me just take that out of the way. Worst thing about this is changing the speeds is in there. It's belts, and it is a pain in the backside to do. I usually leave it in that configuration unless I'm doing anything like parting off or screw cutting, and then I use the slowest speed possible. But I mean, to me, that's the worst thing about it. As for accuracy, if I can just bring this round here, you might be able to see. See if I can just get it out of the light a bit. Okay, each division is 2 thou or 0.05mm. Yeah. Now, so half a division is 1 thou. Now I can work down to 1 thou on this without too much trouble at all. Excuse me. Without too much trouble at all. But yeah, the tool post, that's the tool post I've added on, as is the coolant. The original tool post was a bog standard 4-sided bolt down affair, and it was fairly basic, and you're having to shim up your tools all the time when you change the tool, and I didn't like that, so I spent a few pennies and got myself a quick change tool post. Yeah, and that's definitely a benefit. That is. What else have I done to it? That's about it, really, I suppose. Apart from, if you do buy one of these, yeah, they are made to a price, and you've got to. If you come to grips with that, you won't have a problem. So you've got to take care, adjusting it, align it as soon as you get it on your bench. Align it realign it every year, keep checking your gib strips, and bearing in mind that you can lock off your yeah, you can lock off the tables, yeah, so that they don't move. So if you are doing some boring, you don't have to watch it all thrash about. Lock the tables off. It tells you in the book how to do it. Read the instructions. It is a very basic lathe, not as basic as some of the tiny ones, some of the little ones, but it does the job for me. Like I say, I mean, let's find a bit down here. There we go. I mean, this is the example of some of the stuff I turn. That is cobalt chrome, and it will. It gets a bit cross turning, something like that, but it will do it. It will do it without too much trouble. And of course, if you're using the right tooling, I tend to use carbide most of the time. I do have high-speed steel, and I do have brazed carbide should I need it. All my ceramic stuff is kept in there. The gears, there's a whole shed. You get all the gears you need for screw cutting. Yeah, external jaws as well as your standard jaws, and it's I mean it's fairly basic, but it does the business. If you adjust it properly, keep it lubricated, yeah, don't run it too hard. I mean, it won't take the massive cuts, but you can take sort of 0.1 of a mil off on a cut without any trouble whatsoever. It doesn't have any trouble with that at all. Okay, now the milling head, yeah, it's slightly different. The problem with this is the graduations there are in millimeters, yeah. So if I go from where it is now, excuse me a moment. Right. So if I go from where it is now to there, to there, you can see the amount of movement you get. So that brings everything down 1 millimeter. Yeah. I'm sure it's got the graduations written on it. Or no, maybe it hasn't on this one. But yeah, so I mean that's the problem with that. So you've got to be really gentle if you're milling with that. The handle, the locking, okay, it locks in place with that handle. Yeah. The handle you get with it, it's about that long, and it's not long enough. You can't get enough purchase. Otherwise, as soon as this digs in, it shuffles off somewhere. You've got to have it really tight. You can increase the height, which is done here. I've taken I don't think I've got any handles on this now. But you put the handles in and you turn that, and it raises the head up, and then you lock it off, and everything's tickety-boo. You've got 2 speeds in there. You've got your 6 speeds in there, so you've got 12 speeds in all. And the 12 speeds go from 130 once again to 1660. Only it's in 12 speeds. I rarely go much above what it is now, which is it's just starting to rain, which is about 50% of. So it's once again same as the lathe. I tend to run it sort of middling, unless I'm milling something really soft. Anything else? Yeah, I've lengthened the handle here because the original one was here, and it's too far in. You're not far enough out. The the guards you get with these are rubbish. The one I took the one off there because it's terrible. The one that was on here broke, and once again it's only small, not big enough, so I made a bigger one. And let's face it, it's only to stop you getting tangled up in there. But there are times when they get in the way, so you've got to move them out of the way to actually get in close for work. So, having said all that, Was it worth the money I paid for it? I think so. I think it's only about 750 quid when I bought mine, and I've worked it hard, and it's going to get worked hard again in a couple of hours, because I've got some aluminium to make some fork plugs for a guy. So yeah, so Chinese lathes, yeah, made to a price. The standard, I think we all know now that the Chinese take on quality control is a bit hit and miss. Maybe I just got a good one, and maybe the bloke I watched on YouTube got a bad one. It's hard to say, but certainly I haven't had the problems with mine that he's had with his. But yeah, you know, I align it every year, make sure everything's in alignment. I change the oil in the gearbox every year, give it clean oil, rub it down, you know, make sure it's use some whey oil on it, and I've got some water soluble coolant. I don't use that all the time, but you know, like if I'm turning some heavy stuff like that cobalt chrome, otherwise it just chews the tools up. But yeah, I mean, it's for what it is, I think it does fine. Would I like a better one? Yeah, if I could afford a better one. I mean, if I could afford to spend £5 grand or more on a lathe, yes, I would. But I can't. This was all I could afford at the time. And strange enough, it was recommended to me by a guy who restores cars. And he says, all you need is one of these. And I had a play with his, and I liked it. So I bought one. And yeah, brilliant. It helps if you know how to use one before you buy one. But yeah, you can always go to college for that. That's what college is there for. So anyway, enough of my waffle. So yeah, so are they okay? I think so. For what they are, I think they're damn good. But like most things, they've got the limitations. You understand the limitations, you work to those limitations, try not to exceed them, and I think you'll get some good quality work out of it. Let's face it, none of my customers have complained about my workmanship, and it's all done on this lathe. Everything, turning, polishing, I do profile work, all kinds of stuff. Milling, I've milled cylinder heads, yeah, and it's all been done on this, and there's been no problem whatsoever. So yeah, it's like most things, work to the limitations of the machine and you'll do fine. Right, well, I'm going to sign off now, because I've actually got some work to do. My old dog's asleep down there, guarding the workshop, head of security and all that. Anyway, yeah, enough of my waffle. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. If you like it, please comment, rate and subscribe. You know the drill. Click the bell icon, click the like icon, and subscribe if you haven't. I'll be really pleased to see that you have. And please leave comments. I mean, please don't be abusive. Any abusive comments, and I shall just delete them. I don't put up with any trolling. If you've got anything constructive to say, yes please. I'm always willing to learn, but in the right way. So goodbye for now, and thanks for watching.